Coming up, we celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Loyola women's volleyball team.
Plus, this week's NFC North recap.
I'm Gianna, Perez.
And I'm Graciela, Escobar.
All this and so much more.
Rambler Sports Locker begins now.
Well, it's officially week 4 and school is in full swing. It may be September, but it looks like we are holding on to this warm weather for a little longer.
Yes, I'm definitely happy about that.
Now, Janine DiGerolamo is here with your Rambler Rundown. This week, the women's volleyball team played in the Loyola Invitational. They had their home opener last Thursday, winning 3-2 against the Stephen Austin State Lady Jacks. On Friday, they lost to the Indiana Hoosiers 3-1, and Saturday's match ended in another loss against Bowling Green. Now, Loyola's record sits at 3-6. Women's soccer beat the Eastern Michigan Eagles 2-0 last Thursday. And on Sunday, even though they led with 1 very early in the match, the Ramblers ended up tying with Marquette 1-1. The team will be back home this Sunday to battle the Fordham Rams. Men's soccer brought home a win from Ralph Court Stadium last Thursday night against the SIUE with 2 goals in the last 15 minutes of the game. And on Monday, Loyola faced a setback, losing 3-1 against UIC. The men's team will open Atlantic 10 play this Saturday at Rhode Island. The women's golf team attended the Velvet Classic, hosted by Murray State this past Monday and Tuesday, placing 4th and scoring a total of 914. Additionally, the men's golf team attended the Highlands Invitational this past Monday and Tuesday and placed 11th overall with a total score of 897. That's all for this week's Ramblers Rundown. For Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Janine DiGerolamo.
In other Loyola news, the women's volleyball team is celebrating their 30th year anniversary this season, following their first NCAA tournament win. The program first saw a rise to success all the way back in 1995, when the team achieved their first ever MCC tournament win. Star players like Miss C. Gray Vingood, who still hold the all-time kill record, will never forget the feeling of that tournament. It was the first of many wins to come. Later on, the 2000s team claimed both the MCC regular season and tournament titles. They also gave Loyola its first ever NCAA tournament set win against Kansas State in the 3rd set, 15-6. The team impressively had 66 kills and 60 assists in the match. A few years later, the 2005 team won 3rd in the Horizon League with an 8-6 finish. Evidently, the program has come a long way since it first began. Thanks to the hard work of those that came before, Loyola has seen many memorable wins. Next up, we are introducing a new segment called Sideline Chats. Our reporters will bring on local athletes, coaches, and other sports guests to dive deeper into their stories. Natalie King is here with our first guest, top fuel racer TJ Zizzo. Take it away, Natalie.
Our first guest is TJ Zizzo, a National Hot Rod Association, or NHRA, top fuel racer from my hometown of Lincolnshire. He just wrapped up a race at the Lucas Oil Raceway in Indianapolis. Welcome to Rambler Sports Locker, TJ. Our first question to you is, what exactly is top fuel racing?
Being here in Chicago, right? People will wonder, what is top fuel drag racing? It is the most furious auto sport in the entire world. It's a quarter mile, actually now it's 1,000 feet of drag racing straight. We make about 12,000 horsepower, and it is once again, Natalie, the most exhilarating motorsport in the world.
Awesome, and then how did you first get into this type of racing?
I grew up around it. My father drove a top alcohol dragster, something very similar to what I drive, except just a little less power. And I saw him drive it and campaign it my entire life, all through high school. And then right around 16 years old or so, I said, why not try to drive it, right? So with my parents' permission, they gave me that opportunity to drive their race car, and voila, here I am 30 some odd years later, right, going 334 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it sounds like racing is kind of a family business for the Zizzos. What does that mean to you?
It means the world, right? I mean, to campaign this race car with my dad and with 20 other team members means the world to me. You know, my dad and I get to spend a lot of time. We both enjoy the sport of drag racing. Once again, it's a sport in which is so entertaining for fans, and it's great that I get to do this with my dad.
So I know that the Zizzo racing team is a family team, but it's also an all-volunteer team. So is that common for top fuel racers? Talk more about that.
It's not common at all. My dad and I, we get to compete against billionaires in our sport, right? And we get to do this with an all-volunteer team because the guys and girls that come to our shop every Tuesday night and every Sunday love to be there. And then the best thing is, Natalie, when we go to the racetrack as an all-volunteer team, we look as professional as our competitors. And in fact, we out-qualify most of our competitors, which even makes it more exciting.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I know you just raced with your team in Indianapolis. Can you talk more about how that went and then what's coming up next for you?
Right out of the box, first pass, U.S. Nationals, we make a career best run. 3.69 seconds, yeah, it's quick, right? At 333 miles an hour,
wow.
Right away. We set the pace for the entire event. We go through qualifying, we run really well. We have a lot of good racing, but we did have some bad racing. Do you mind if I show a part?
Do it. I want to see it.
So this is a connecting rod and a piston.
Yeah.
Right? That's what this is.
Okay.
This is what it would look like if it was brand new or close to brand new. And unfortunately, one of them ended up looking like this. Right. Terrible.
Yeah.
But let's go through. So we make a good run right out of qualifying. We make 4 more good runs. We're qualified number 3. We got to race number 14 qualifier. Piece of cake, right? Not a piece of cake. Left the starting line, had major problems, and unfortunately, we lost first round of eliminations. But that is what it is, right? I mean, we go there with the idea that we're going to win, but sometimes you don't. And the great thing about drag racing is you're going to lose way more than you're going to win. So we enjoy that challenge. So here we are preparing for our next race.
Awesome. And then I know you also have another prop here, your helmet. Do you want to demonstrate that for us?
I would love to.
Yeah.
So this is my helmet. Please, Natalie, hopefully I don't drop this.
That's okay.
Because if I drop it, it's over. So this is my helmet. It's not simply just a plastic helmet.
Right.
This is made out of carbon fiber. It pumps fresh air into the helmet so I could breathe better. It has all kind of fire protectant around it to hopefully help me in an accident situation. And hopefully, Natalie, I never got to use it.
Yes, exactly. So why do you think more people should watch Top Fuel Racing?
Because here's the deal. I would love people to come out to the event because when you see it in person, and you've seen it in person,
Yes.
you have
Very
felt
cool.
the power of our race car, right? It's amazing. TV doesn't show our sport justice. I think most sporting events, you need to go to appreciate it. And to get fans to watch it, they need to actually see the event in person first and then watch it on TV from there.
Yeah, I know. I was at one of your races, and when the cars go, it's like your whole body shakes. It's so loud, but it's super cool. Coolest thing.
Awesome.
Well, TJ, thank you so much for being our first sideline chat guest, and good luck at your next race. Make sure to catch the end of TJ's season on TV as he races in St. Louis next weekend. For Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Natalie King, sending it back to the anchors.
Thanks, Natalie. What a great discussion.
Now, the Bears are entering Week 3 with urgency at 0-2.
Oh, definitely. It's a crucial Game 3 for Ben Johnson and his Bears squad. Since 2002, 13% of teams that started the season 0-2 made the postseason. And 3% of 0-3 teams have a chance of a postseason run.
You know, looking back, Mike Ditka started his Bears career 0-2, and 3 years later was a Super Bowl champion in 1985.
Hopefully, the Bears follow down the right path starting this weekend against their former head coach, Matt Eberflus, and the Cowboys, because that was tough watching the Lions show out on their former offensive coordinator in Johnson.
AJ, what are your NFC predictions? Do you think Eberflus will give the Bears another taste of revenge?
You know, if you're a Bears fan, you say, I sure hope not. The Cowboys are 1-1 right now. The Bears are 0-2. It's difficult to place the Bears in between, the Cowboys' 2 former opponents. They barely lost to the Eagles, and they barely beat the Giants. I find it difficult to, place the Bears in between that. But I do think that the Bears are going to win, and we'll get into that on the NFC Sports Recap. The Bears. Wow. Someone might need to tell Ben Johnson that 52 should be a goal for points scored, not allowed. The Bears only lost 1 game last year in which they scored 21 or more points, but this is partly due to the Bears not scoring more than 21 points often. This game was blown by the defense, but at least sophomore wide receiver Roma Dunze was a bright spot, catching 7 passes for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Bears host the Dallas Cowboys next week in what looks to be an exciting offensive matchup. I predict a 31-27 Bears win. The Lions looked amazing in this outing, taking out their frustrations from the Week 1 loss against the Packers. Jared Goff went nuclear, throwing 5 touchdowns and winning NFC Offensive Player of the Week. The Lions used their arsenal of offensive talent with Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Jamason Williams, and Brock Wright all scoring a touchdown, and Amon-Ra St. Brown scoring 3. The Lions really proved that they could maintain their spectacular offense from last year without Ben Johnson. However, the Lions do have the misfortune of traveling to Baltimore on Monday and taking on the Ravens, a game I think has potential for the best game of the year. Give me the Ravens to defeat the Lions 34-27. The Vikings had a disappointing show against the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday night. J.J. McCarthy had an upsetting stat line of 11 for 21 for 158 yards and 2 interceptions for Vikings fans like me. The Week 1 NFC Offensive Player of the Week did not play to the same level as last week. McCarthy has been ruled out for next week's matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals with a high ankle sprain. Carson Wentz is poised for his 6th start in 6 years for a 6th team, which is an NFL record. I predict a rough 21-20 Vikings win. That's all for this week's NFC North recap. For Rambler Sports Locker, I'm AJ Lee.
Thanks, AJ. Shifting our focus away from the NFC North, let's talk about something that's got the North side buzzing. The Chicago Cubs are back in the postseason for the first time since 2020, and the excitement is real. After years of heartbreak, near misses, and rebuilding, this return to October baseball feels like a payoff for the patience and loyalty of Cubs fans everywhere. Wrigleyville is alive again, and there's a real sense that this team could make some noise this year. They will host the San Diego Padres for a best-of-3 playoff series September 30th through October 2nd at Wrigley Field. Now on today's Ramble, Joe Mangold will be joined by AJ Lee and Henry Isenberg to discuss some controversy in college football rankings.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Ramble. I'm your host, Joe Mangold, and I am with last episode's winner, AJ Lee, and Henry Isenberg. The college football season is always a great thing to watch, but time and time again, there are always issues with the AP poll. Notre Dame, a 0-2 team, is ranked 24th in the nation. This ranking comes with heavy controversy, as the team is placed higher than the 3-0 University of South California, or USC. We're ranked 25th. That is not the only case of this issue happening, but it is the most recent. Now, AJ, do you think Notre Dame should be ranked after not having a single win?
You know, honestly, I think that they should. This is a team that was in the national championship last year. They lose their first 2 games of the season against, a top 4 team in Miami and a top 10 team in Texas A&M. Those are tough losses. I think if they lose another game, they should absolutely be out. But I think you have to keep this in consideration. The AP poll is a projection for the rest of the year. And if you're going to sit here and tell me that Notre Dame's not going to be a top 25 team for the rest of the year, I would say that you haven't watched a game of college football this year. And as for USC, they beat Purdue. That's their best win, Purdue. And, it's Purdue. So I think that quality losses can, really help your case. And bad wins don't help you that much. And honestly, I think if they faced off right now, Notre Dame would win by 50. So that's my opinion. I think that they should be ranked, but if they lose another game, then absolutely not.
I mean, just a strong take right there. Henry, what do you like to say?
Well, I agree that Notre Dame is very talented. I disagree that they should be ranked right now. I mean, looking at their resume right now, they are 0-2. They have no wins. You say USC doesn't have an impressive win, but Notre Dame doesn't even have a win. We look at the teams ranked below them. USC, I think, has a better resume. University of Southern Florida has a better resume. They have 2 ranked wins. Their 1 loss is against the same team that Notre Dame lost against. And if we go even further, if we look at Mississippi State, another Power 5 school, they aren't even ranked, and they're 3-0 with a win against Arizona State. So those are 3 teams who should be ranked higher than them.
All right, I mean, great takes to start it off. I got to give this one, though, to Henry. Woo! Now, Henry, do you think AP poll voters should have to justify their rankings, or are their positions as voters enough?
Well, I think the main problem with the AP voting stems from, 1, there's too many of them. And the way you become an AP voter is most times these people are superintendents or athletic directors at these schools, so they're going to have some inherent biases. And I feel like these people need to be accountable for these decisions that they make, because sometimes they're just moronic. I mean, a few weeks ago, when Florida lost to University of Southern Florida, they moved up in the rankings. There's just no justification for a decision like that, and we need to hold these people accountable.
All right, very strong take. AJ, what would you like to say?
Well, actually, Florida only moved up in a few voters' opinions, which they release all of the polls separately for how all of the voters rank all the teams. They did not move up. I would think that would be stupid if they did. I do think, however, that these voters should have some say. I understand your point about inherent bias, but if you have less voters, then that bias is only going to get stronger. I think the amount of voters is good. I think that if we reduce the number of voters, then you're just going to get super, super consistent, like teams at 1, teams at 2, teams at 3, and you're not going to see the volatility that makes college football so entertaining. So I think the number of voters is good. I think they're doing fine. I think, more importantly, the playoff voting they're doing that well. But I do think it would be important for these voters to go on social media and go on these platforms, and they should explain themselves, but I don't think that they are entitled to.
All right, I mean, just great takes today from both you guys. Got to say, though, I like the counter argument a lot more. I got to give it to AJ. All right, guys, we got another tiebreaker here. Can't believe it. Second tiebreaker. It's 2 in a row. Now, for the tiebreaker question, you guys grab your phones, type the answers down. But which 3 teams in the current AP Top 25 were unranked last week? Bit of a tough one. You guys got about 15 seconds or so, and then you guys show your answers. And no posts on Instagram either. We don't need that again. Come on, guys.
Are we allowed to look at the poll or no?
Nope. You said you knew a ball. We got another ball, boys. Got about 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Got your answers, boys?
I only got 1.
Let's see. Well, be honest with you guys. You had 3, but you got 2 wrong. You both got USC right, so for the first time, we have a tie, guys.
Hey!
I mean, an incredible debate from both of you guys. Your arguments were incredibly strong. Now, like I said, great debate today. I see that the AP poll controversy for this season is only just beginning. AJ, Henry, great takes from you guys today, and I cannot wait for you guys to be back again. Now let's vote to move this one back to the anchors.
Great discussion, guys. It's interesting to hear different opinions surrounding such a specialized topic.
Yeah, I never knew rankings could be so controversial.
That wraps up this week's episode of Rambler Sports Locker.
To stay up to date on all things Rambler Sports, be sure to follow us on X, TikTok, and Instagram at Loyola RSL, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
From all of us here at Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Gianna Perez.
And I'm Graciela Escobar.
We'll see you next week, and don't forget to turn off the lights.